In other news, my subwoofer died on my sound bar. This ain't been a good time for your boy here, but bought a new sound bar today. So you're not going to hear that lady say disconnected anymore. It says something else now, but anyway, I'd made a joke sometime before about how she was going to be my dead fire alarm battery sound, but oh well, so much for that. As you can see, I have some CDs in my hand. I took my sister's car. She needed gas, and she has a CD player. Mine doesn't work anymore, so took some CDs. Traffic was horrendous, so I actually got to listen to all three of these during my time out. This one will be long. This will be probably the longest I've done yet, and there's a reason. The band I'm about to talk about is Paragon. As you can see, I got Paragon 1, Paragon 2, and Paragon 3. So, if you don't know this band, chances are good you're probably not from the Charlotte area. This is not the German power metal band, also known as Paragon. So, most everybody knows that I've been listening to music a long, long time. During my high school years, there was actually a radio station that probably still exists, but they were called WXRC, the Rock. And they played a lot of hard rock and metal. That was my favorite station. I loved the DJs. I'm even friends with one of them now, which is pretty cool. Used to listen to her and Samantha Stone. They were the ones that played this music because it's what they liked. So Friday night they had their own metal show, and then afterwards the station played Metal Shop. So you probably don't know these things because either you didn't live in Charlotte or you're not old as shit like I am. So when metal and hard rock was coming into real prominence, mid to late 80s, I listened to a lot of radio. They didn't have satellite and all that crap. Surely didn't have all the records and CDs that I do now, but listened to a lot of radio. And one of the things they did on their metal show, I wish I could remember what the hell it was called, but I'm lucky that I remembered Metal Shop. So they featured local bands. Charlotte has always had a really rich history of killer bands, so anyway, this band called Paragon comes on, and I was like, who in the hell is this? And I found out it's a local band. Recorded a couple of their songs on tape from the radio back in the day, but I never got to see them. I just heard a couple songs, but based on those couple songs, I was a fan. I loved their music. It was perfect. It was right there what I liked to hear at the time, and still do. So fast forward, this has probably been 15 years maybe. Club called Amos's in Charlotte was having a band called Paragon play, and lo and behold, it was them. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we decided what the hell we're gonna go. I wanted to see this band live for a long time, and the singer has really high vocals, and I was very skeptical at first. I was like, this is probably not going to be all that good. A lot of these older guys They just can't do it. You know, I think I mentioned somewhere else, you know, that vocals, you know, age takes its toll on that. It does with guitars and drums and stuff too, because your hands. But if you lose your voice, man, that's it. So the music starts. It sounded great. Crowd was pretty packed, excited. Sonny comes out and just does this high note, and I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be amazing. And it really was. Now, if you know anything about me, at the time I was writing album reviews and concert write-ups for a couple of different websites. Posted on the blog for Get Ready to Rock Your Once in a While, but I was a senior staff writer for a website called myglobalmind.com. I guess technically I still am. I just haven't written for them in a very long time, but hopefully that'll change soon. So, and that site is still active. You should go check it out. They post good stuff. So I wrote a review about the show, just talked about how amazing it was, what the band, you know, kind of what I've already gone through so far in the video. So the guys in the band saw it, and they were like really excited, and they contacted me, and a relationship blossomed. You know, I actually did a series of stories for the website, talking about Paragon. You know, I did like 4 or 5 different articles about them. Used to go to their practices, saw whatever shows they had during the short time that they were back together. So it was great. You know, this is a band I loved so much in school, and now I'm actually friends with the band. I get to hang out with the band. I get to go to the shows, you know, writing stuff about them and for them, you know, and it was really great. It was kind of like the only time in my life I'll probably have like a almost famous moment where I get to be embedded with a band and just follow them. And you know, it's not like they were doing a big world tour or anything, but you know, they had some more shows they did, and you know, they were really wanting to make a go of it. But you know, shit happens. The band kind of splintered again. Maybe not splintered, but they just stopped. So fast forward some more. Mark, the guitarist, got in touch with the guys that run the label Heaven and Hell Records. Jeremy, one of the guys, wanted me to, you know, to talk to him about maybe releasing some music, but at the time I was trying to, you know, be an insurance salesman, so I was just trying to build a business, and you know, failed horribly, but you know, whatever. But he got in touch with the band, with Mark, and they released these 3 albums. The third one is just now being released. I've had the first 2 for a while. I heard them, I listened to them on Bandcamp, the digital stuff, but my CDs were still unopened, and the reason was because about a month and a half, 2 months after the first 2 albums came out, Sonny passed away, the singer. It's very sudden, very unexpected, you know, and I wanted to post that I had these, talk about them, was even going to thought about doing a review again, but you know, life gets in the way, and you just got to do what you got to do sometimes. But these albums are fantastic. The first 2, if you know the band, you know, whether you caught them when they reunited or know them from back in the day, first 2 are mostly, they say there's the lady, she's going to be much louder, I guess, but the first 2 albums are mostly the songs that they played live and did the most. So in a sense, not only do I now have on physical, you know, product, I can hear the songs anytime I want to. It's great. And I know that this is a labor of love that Mark did. Sonny was not really involved, I don't think, you know, so But anyway, they're fantastic records. It's almost the equivalent of like meeting an old friend. Let's see here. I'm not sure. Oh well. Anyway, the third one's not on Heaven and Hell Records. I don't know what label that's off of, but at any rate, it's the third album is almost like a new album because a lot of the songs I had never heard before. You know, there's even some special tracks that Sonny had done. You know, celebrate his passing, celebrate his life. Kind of, you know, when the band busted up, stopped really talking a whole lot to anybody in the band, with the exception of maybe Sean Love, the bass player for the last incarnation. Mark and I used to talk on the phone quite a bit when I was doing stuff with the band. Sonny would call every once in a while, and you know, I would talk to him some. The last time he called me though, I didn't take the call, and I hate that I didn't take the call. Full disclosure: if you have my number and you call me, if I don't answer, I'm either not available or I just don't want to talk on the phone. If it's an emergency, text me. If I have to call you, I'll call you back or whatever. But I just spent most of my life talking on the damn phone for work. I don't enjoy it much anymore. I'm not a big chatter either. The fact that I'm talking an hour and a little over 11 minutes, just about 12, and I've sat here and kind of talked continuously. You know, I wish it felt better, so it'd be a little more like, yeah, you know. But
Bluetooth pairing.
I'm just finally glad to have, you know, some physical product in my hand of these songs. I'm glad to have
Bluetooth
the memories of working with the band. I'm still friends with everybody. I haven't, Scotty, I don't think he's on Facebook anymore or whatever. Mark and Sean and I, you know, still on Facebook or whatever, so whatever. But it's an amazing band. They're one of those undiscovered, rare local bands that should have gotten a bigger push. I'm not going to say that they could have been like the biggest thing ever. You know, they were coming up around the same time as Firehouse, and then Firehouse got the push. Paragon did not, for whatever reason. You know, just luck of the draw. That's the music business for you. So it sucks. So, all right. Well, I'm done talking. Not sure I will do much more talking today. It's a double album. I don't know what I'm going to do after that. Maybe I'll listen to the last. I don't know. Guess you'll find out soon enough. Later.